It started the way these things often do, with a promotion no one saw coming. Our previous director, an affable if slightly chaotic man named Robert, had resigned suddenly to pursue other opportunities, the company favorite for anything from a nervous breakdown to getting pushed out the back door. He was well liked, not because he was the most effective leader but because he let us work. We had autonomy, a comfortable and competitive commission structure, and a say in the marketing strategies we built. It was a rare thing in corporate America, a team that was functioning well, not just surviving. Then came Madeline. Madeline had the kind of resume that HR types drool over. Ivy League MBA, a stint in private equity, 3 years at some cold-blooded consultancy known for lean transformations and efficiency mandates. She stepped into our office in a sleek black suit and heels that clicked like gunshots on the polished concrete floor. Her reputation preceded her, though none of us were quite sure what it meant to Madeline a department, yet. The first few weeks were textbook onboarding. She observed, listened, met with us one-on-one. She smiled a lot, asked many questions, even bought donuts on Fridays. People were cautious but polite. Then the mood shifted. It started with calendar invites titled things like compensation framework optimization and aligning incentives with business growth. Long meetings. Charts with arrows and buzzwords. Some of us joked nervously about what was coming. Deep down we knew. The bomb dropped on a gray Monday morning. A full department meeting. Everyone from senior strategists to junior coordinators packed into the glass-walled conference room. Madeline stood at the front with a clicker and a curated slide deck, her tone cheery rehearsed. Today, she said, beaming, we're announcing an exciting new phase in our growth journey. The word exciting should have been our first clue. The presentation walked us through a reimagined commission structure, now tied to new performance metrics. Lead quality score, campaign engagement delta, cross-functional touchpoints. Basically, we had to do more, hit moving targets and split rewards differently. The net result? Our take-home pay would drop by 25 to 30%. A few brave souls asked questions. She answered them all with corporate euphemisms. This is about sustainability. We're aligning performance with profitability. We're all in this together. It wasn't that we didn't understand, we understood perfectly.
Morale tanked.
The coffee break room became a therapy circle. Slack threads turned into low-key venting zones. People started updating their resumes. I was one of them. Then came the meeting that pushed us from disillusion to livid. About a month after the commission changes, another all-hands was called. We shuffled into the conference room, guarded and tired. Madeline stood at the front again, this time even more chipper. Great news, she said. I want to show you all something we can be incredibly proud of. She clicked to a slide, a bar chart showing revenue growth. Over the past year, our department had nearly tripled the company's profit. Tripled. There was silence. Not the stunned, proud silence she was hoping for. This was a heavy, angry how dare you silence. She looked around puzzled. Hey guys, where's the enthusiasm? Aren't you happy with these numbers? Still silence. You could feel the tension in the room. My jaw clenched. Several people looked down, shaking their heads. Someone exhaled audibly through their nose. A junior analyst muttered something under his breath. I think it was, "You've got to be kidding me." The irony was suffocating. We had delivered massive gains under the old system, and our reward was a pay cut. Now she was asking us to cheer. I wanted to speak. My throat tightened. There were so many words I wanted to say. But I said nothing. I watched her confused smile fade as she realized this wasn't the reaction she had envisioned. That meeting was the turning point. Not just for me but for many others. We didn't walk out that day, but something left the room nonetheless. The last shred of loyalty, of belief in the company. I quietly began applying for new jobs. A few months later I left. But that day never left me. The new job was quieter. It paid slightly less at first, but the culture was healthier. There were no forced cheerleading sessions, no blind praise of senseless restructuring. The leadership there had something I'd forgotten how much I valued. Humility. They listened. Even so, the memory of that final year at my previous company haunted me. It wasn't just the pay cut, though that hurt. It was the betrayal. The manipulation wrapped in smiles and motivational jargon. It was the expectation that we would be grateful while being punished. I kept in touch with a few colleagues. More than half the team left within a year of Madeline's restructuring. One started her own agency. Another went freelance. A couple found work at rival firms and were doing well. The department never recovered, though. Profits dipped the following quarter and continued to slide. I wasn't surprised. It was months later, over drinks with a former coworker named Jess, that I finally found the words I hadn't spoken during that fateful meeting. They used our success against us, I said, stirring the melting ice in my glass. We worked harder, brought in more money, and instead of rewarding us, they used it as proof that we could be squeezed even more. Jess nodded. It's like feeding a golden goose more, just so you can justify cutting its legs off. We laughed, but it was bitter. The kind of laugh that comes after disillusionment, when all that's left is dry humor and a deeper understanding of the system. That first meeting where she presented the new structure, I remember every slide, every bullet point about efficiency and synergy, the way she avoided eye contact during the Q&A, the way her voice didn't shake. She believed in what she was doing. That's the truly terrifying part. Madeline thought she was helping us, maybe even saving us, but the numbers didn't lie. We had delivered. We were good, and we were punished for it. The next year, the company's top brass held an executive summit. This was something we only heard about from press releases or quarterly all-hands that streamed in from HQ. But this time word traveled fast. Apparently, several departments, including ours, were on the agenda. Jess forwarded me a screenshot of an internal slide that had leaked. Attrition rates up 43% in marketing division. Underneath, in red, root cause, cultural misalignment. That phrasing, cultural misalignment, stuck with me. Like we were defective gears that didn't fit the new machine. Not once did it seem to occur to leadership that maybe the machine was flawed. Madeline was reassigned 2 months later. The announcement came via email. We thank Madeline for her efforts and look forward to her continued contributions in a strategic advisory capacity. Strategic advisory capacity. It was code for being benched. The official reason? None given. But the writing was on the wall. Profits had dipped. Retention had cratered. A whistleblower complaint had even surfaced, something about coercive restructuring and manipulation of internal metrics to justify compensation changes. I didn't know if that was true, but I wasn't shocked. When I heard the news, I didn't feel vindicated. I felt tired. What we went through couldn't be undone. But maybe, just maybe, the next team wouldn't be treated like disposable assets. Still, sometimes I think about that day in the conference room, when we were shown those soaring profits and expected to clap. And I remember the silence. How loud it was. And how necessary.